Nothing Phone 1 review. Something else? Nothing claims its new Phone 1 can bring us back to us with deeper interactions and brave simplicity. It's not the life-changing phone and nothing makes it out to be. It's just a good mid-range device with flashing lights on the back. The Phone 1's unique light-up notification glyphs are somewhat useful, but more than anything, they're a fashion flourish. Given that it's backed up by solid performance and fair price, there's nothing wrong with that at all. One important note, Phone 1 is not coming to the US. When it goes on sale on July 21st, it will cost $475 USD for a model with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. A version with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage will go for $593 USD. It will be available in the UK, parts of Europe, India, and Japan, among other markets. Nothing doesn't rule out bringing a future product to the US, but it definitely won't be Phone 1 since it lacks FCC certification. The light strips that make up Phone 1's most attention-grabbing feature blink in combinations that the company calls glyphs. There are 20 total in 2 sets, each tied to a corresponding sound, 10 glyphs for notifications and 10 for ringtones. On a high level, you can set a glyph for all incoming notifications and one for all calls and leave it at that. Or you can get more granular by going into individual app settings. Because the glyph lights are tied to specific tones, you can use them for any app or feature that lets you customize alert sounds. You can assign specific glyphs to individual contacts, though you'll only see the glyph you picked when that contact calls you, not when they message you, which is a bummer who talks on the phone. You can also assign different glyphs to different app notifications, even different kinds of notifications from the same app, depending on the app. To do this, you need to head to that app's notification settings, where you can reassign the notification sound to the glyph of your choice. This changes the alert sound, but it also means you will see the corresponding glyph even when the phone is silenced. You can set a glyph for any app notification that lets you assign a custom notification sound, one glyph for work emails and a different one for personal emails, for example, or separate glyphs for Instagram likes and comments. In theory, it's a less obtrusive way to have your phone tell you whether a notification is worth interrupting whenever you're doing a modern revival of the good old-fashioned multicolor notification LED. With some time and a little fine-tuning, this is a feature that some people might find genuinely useful, especially if you want to triage notifications without details flashing across the screen. Personally, I didn't exactly find it transformative. For starters, I'm in the habit of putting my phone down with the screen facing up when I'm not using it, so I didn't see the glyph flashing most of the time. I'm sure that's a habit I'd be able to change without much trouble if I gave it some time. But it hasn't happened in the couple of weeks that I've been using the phone. Probably because there's another part of the phone that lights up and tells me what kind of notification I'm getting: the screen. Glyphs also require some memorization to recognize the difference between certain light patterns. Was that squiggle or beak? Is the big blinking C an email or an Instagram DM? The system worked best for me when I set specific glyphs for 1 or 2 important apps rather than a bunch of different glyphs for different apps. That got a little chaotic. There are a couple of other uses for the lights outside of notifications. When the battery is charging, the little exclamation mark on the bottom of the back panel illuminates periodically. It's neat but a little more distracting than just tapping the screen to check the charge level. You can also use the glyph lights as a fill light for the camera. It's a nice option and a bit less intense than using the flash, though with a cooler tone. And there's an unadvertised bonus feature. If you want a young child to look at the camera, they will definitely do the trick.